Now, what are some things that the United States would need to do to sort of capture, on really any scale, these sort of permanent, stable, high-paying jobs that it's lost over the past several generations?
If we were talking 30 years ago, I would say adjust the exchange rates. But if the patient is already dead, you can't just fiddle around with the oxygen levels.
Yeah.
Basically, to revive the American economy, you have to have very drastic policies now, painful policies, painful both for many American interest groups, but of course painful also for people outside the United States. I have suggested in print that there's a need for a return to tariffs, and that's an unpopular position. It places you somewhere south of, if you're a protectionist, you're somewhere south of a terrorist in terms of the popular view of your
it's almost
to society. But
it's almost always pejorative to be called a protectionist.
Yeah, right.
Is a bad thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But the point really here is if the patient is dying, then from gangrene, then you have to do some very drastic surgery to get him back in shape. The patient is in very serious condition, and drastic measures are needed. Tariffs are, in my view, the solution.
Now, under our current obligations through various bilateral, regional, and then international trade agreements with the WTO, tariffs by name are officially illegal in most instances.
Yeah.
How would the United States employ these mechanisms to save itself if it can't by its own accord?
Well, there's always the possibility of pulling out of the WTO.
Which is something that hasn't even been brought up
of course.
in Washington for
right.
years.
It may be possible to do something less drastic than that. I'm told that there could be an appeal to special mechanisms within the WTO for an emergency. You can say this is an emergency, so we have to break the rules temporarily to get things sorted out.
Are people willing to do that? There was something that the Clinton administration had tried, was claiming that there was this emergency with the WTO and that it needed to do something to protect, I believe, steel manufacturers in the U.S., particularly in the South and in the Midwest, which is now the Rust Belt. And all that really did was get countries like France and Germany to retaliate with tariffs of our agricultural exports. Is there any way? Is there real momentum outside in the rest of the world that sees the problem in the United States and is willing to sort of adopt some sort of altruistic standpoint to help us as we try to recover?
I think that it's probably expecting too much of other countries to be, quotes, altruistic, but enlightened self-interest might be the word one would use. The American market is very important, and many people at a political level have a great deal of goodwill towards the United States. So there are other issues here, but I think that painful measures are needed, and there will be interest groups in most other nations that will scream, will try to resist whatever measures are taken. It's not going to be easy, but at the end of the day, if America was clear in its own mind what it wanted to do, I don't think it would face insurmountable problems from abroad.
So one of the biggest problems that we face is the fact that we don't have, not only do we lack goals and objectives, but we also lack a strategy to achieve any goals or objectives that we may or may not have.
Yeah, the American intellectual community is completely divided and confused. There's no intellectual leadership anymore. And the political system was organized originally to be rather less than effective at pursuing a national agenda, except in wartime. division of powers and all of that. All of that was conceived at a time when the current problems weren't remotely imaginable. America was an entity unto itself. It didn't have to worry about international trade very much. And it certainly didn't have to worry about predatory trade practices by very well-organized foreign nations. So we're into a new world, and new measures are needed.
Wake up, America! Open up your eyes! Wake up, America! Wake up!